Yahoo! Welcome, my beautiful brothers and sisters, fellow radiators of love. My name is Jamal Pope, aka Jay Phoenix, and this is going to be your astrology forecast for Thursday, October 12th of 2023. Thank you so much for joining me in this video. Hope you guys are having a wonderful week so far. I know it's been an intense week. I know there's been a lot going on, especially in the external world. Hopefully you guys are be able to make it through this and be able to observe and act accordingly and not get too caught up in picking sides. The only side that we should be picking is the side of the truth, light, and love. I know that sounds nice and fluffy and shit, but it's true. So that doesn't mean that if you pick that side that you're not going to have to fight. I'm just saying that that's the only side that we should be picking is the side of truth. Anyways, let's go ahead and hop into the aspects for today. We do have a pretty interesting day ahead of us, pretty intense day. As you can see, we do have Mars, which is finally out of Libra. Gets a little bit of reprieve. It even trying Saturn today. So Mars is feeling a lot better. Despite the fact that it's still going to be under a little bit of stress. So yeah, Mars does move out of Scorpio today. It moved out of Scorpio it was pretty much overnight. So if you're on the West Coast, it actually moves into Scorpio your Wednesday evening. If you're here on the East Coast, it was pretty much right after midnight was when Mars actually made that ingress into Scorpio. So Mars is now in Scorpio. And while I do not do double rulerships, Mars still feels a lot better there. That's where its traditional home is. So Mars is definitely going to get a lot more power back. And what's interesting about this Mars is that as soon as it comes in, it does make a trine over to Saturn. Now, we got to remember that Mars did square Pluto, the executioner. And Pluto, the way that I saw it, had to kind of clean up what Mars couldn't do, if you will, right? So now Mars trines Saturn here at 0 degrees, mind you. And now you got to remember this, right? Saturn doesn't really jive with Mars, but Mars jives with Saturn because Mars wants to impress Saturn. So now that Saturn is here at 0 degrees Pisces, Mars is here at 0 degrees Scorpio, and they make this trine, there's a harmonizing aspect here. This is the moment now where Mars is asking Saturn for the next mission. And Saturn is going to give the next mission. Granted, this is 0 degrees Pisces, so this is an absolute total wild card. With a moon that's in Virgo at the same time of this, that is going to be in opposition to Neptune as well. This is definitely going to be a pretty interesting energy. 2 + 5 is 7, so that's Neptunian energy already right there. And this moon opposing Neptune definitely has the upper hand of this opposition, just because Neptune is one of the strongest planets in the zodiac right now. This is a moment where we can get swept up in the current. The moon is definitely trying to figure out some of the details and everything. It's in the deck and ruled by Venus. You know what I'm saying? Venus is also here in Virgo, not feeling that great. She's in her fall. The sun's in her fall. And now it's like, well, shoot. Trying to figure out all these little details and everything like that, trying to come up with some sort of game plan and strategize, how do I get out of these situations? Or, whether you're in a situation or not, it's about, trying to feel our way through this and be the hermit. And then you got fucking Neptune over here, freaking Beerus is freaking awake and is trying to destroy planets. He has an insatiable appetite, right? And this could be a day, too, where, especially with the moon in Virgo, depending upon the details that are given to us, and Neptune's the media, too, it's like you could really easily get caught up in the current. I'm putting a red alert out there. Watch out for propaganda. Don't believe everything that you see. Don't believe everything that you hear, because they're going to use these things to try and sway you so you can pick a side right now. And it doesn't necessarily have to be in relation. I mean, there'll probably be a lot of it's going to have to do with what's happening over in Israel and Palestine, the Gaza Strip and stuff. But it's going to be other things too. They're going to have you try and pick sides of different things. That's one of them. They've been doing it with the Ukraine thing. It's going to continue to happen, right? Whenever the moon goes into Virgo, and as it's been opposing Neptune this whole time, it's been this whole thing about like, okay, what else can we do to get people swept up in the details and try and only feed them the details that we want them to know. That's why we have to be really discerning during this time, but it can be hard to be. Why? Because we have all this energy in Libra, and they're trying to paint this illusion, if you will, that we can have this balance and the peace and the harmony. But then you have this Aries energy over here, Chiron, the North Node, and Eris, which is like, let's go. This is a battle. This is a war. There's definitely this element right now, I think, where a lot of people are being like ostriches, and they're putting their head in the sand, and they don't want to hear about it. They don't want to see it. They don't want to look at the atrocities that are happening. But we have to have the strength to be aware of what's happening and to not pick sides and to rise above and maintain vibrational integrity during this time. It's going to be tough, though, when you have all of these different things, all of these different, stories, all these different narratives that are going to be getting thrown at us. And it's going to only increase. Tomorrow's Friday the 13th, and we have a new moon solar eclipse coming. The moon is in its dark moon phase, it's in its balsamic phase. Things get very sensitive during this time. And yes, you would like to think that a new moon is going to be a time of new beginnings. And really, with this eclipse, especially with the South Node, this is probably going to be a new moon that functions a lot more like a full moon, especially considering the fact that it's going to be opposite this Aries energy with the North Node and Eris and Chiron. A Mars that has just gone to Scorpio, so it's getting its mission, is getting its new mission from Saturn, if you will. And because it's at 0 degrees, this infinite potential here. So what's going to impregnate that 0? And then what is going to be the 1 that comes out of that 0? You have to think about that, right? So Mars doesn't hit 1 degree today. It takes a while for it to do so. Now, on the way to that, mind you, let me just back up. I was just going really fast just now. But the moon's going to trine over to Pluto, right? So we got the moon trining over to Pluto today. The moon also did it trine Uranus? It's already, by that time, it already had trined Uranus, right? So by the time that we make this. But yeah, we do have the moon. It's going to trine Uranus today. Trine Pluto today. And of course, that moon is going to shift into Libra today, around 8:43. So we're like even closer to this new moon. As you can see, though, Mars 0034, Saturn 0055. They are still talking right now. So Saturn is giving Mars this update, if you will. So Mars isn't going to click fully into 1 degree until, was it Friday, right? Yeah, until Friday. That's when 11:43, and as I said, it's more of a tomorrow thing, and the moon's going to be here at 7 degrees. But that's when Mars kind of like that 0, whatever it is that Saturn, the mission that Mars gave it, that's when it blooms, right? That's when it sparks off. Especially sparks off when it hits 2 degrees, right? Because then that's going to be, the 2 degrees is going to be the reaction to the bloom, right? Now, I was getting a little ahead of myself, but I want you guys to be prepared for what's coming too. I know a lot of eyes right now are on Israel and Palestine and stuff, but there's a lot of other things that are happening too. The southern border is something that we probably should be concerned about too. That's a whole thing. And of course, with this new solar eclipse, the way that it's going, the totality of it, it's going over San Antonio, Texas. There's going to be another one next year, which is going to be X marks the spot on San Antonio, Texas. So they have our eyes averted over here, but really our eyes should probably be on the southern border because something probably is going to pop off there. I don't know if it's going to pop off immediately with this new moon. That might just be the first phase. That's like phase 1 of it. Phase 2 is going to be the new moon solar eclipse In Aries, it happens next year. So that'll be phase 2. And then that's when I think shit really hits the fan as far as that goes. But I think with the daylight today, we really need to think about this, right? Do you have the inner strength to respond intelligently yet gently to the diversity of opinions in the world? I'm going to read that again. Do you have the inner strength to respond intelligently yet gently to the diversity of opinions in the world? That is really the theme of this day, of honestly this whole time right now, because things are certainly heating up. They're certainly heating up. You know, yeah, we do have some harmonious aspects today. Moon and Virgo trining over to Pluto, right? So it's like, yeah, I mean, Pluto is still wanting us to do the work, though. We still have to climb the mountain, right? Even if we don't want to. Pluto's like, fuck your feelings. And the moon in Virgo, it's like, we got to realize that no one is going to do this for us. We have to do it ourselves. Pluto is now direct, too. So that's the other thing. I forgot to mention that the other day, which is, I don't know why I missed that, because I'm, Pluto rules Scorpio, and I am a Scorpio. So, that's my ruling planet. But yeah, Pluto is now direct. So now we are down to Saturn, Neptune, Chiron, Jupiter, Uranus. They're in retrograde, right? So now that Pluto is direct and Pluto is online and moving forward in Capricorn, you're going to really start to see things continue to heat up when it comes to that energy, when it comes to the destruction and creation of Capricorn energy. Larger groups of people, society, governments, organizations, leaderships, especially here that it's in the decade that is ruled by, well, in this it says Mercury, but I say it's the decade ruled by Chiron because it'll be Virgo, right? Where is Chiron at? Aries. So, yeah. We also have to look at this. The sun is at 19 degrees of Libra today. Now, why is that important? Because the sun exalts itself in Aries at 19 degrees. It's exalted in Aries, but 19 degrees of Aries is the point that it loves the most. So now the sun is opposing the spot that it loves the most. Today is a day where, if we are not careful, our spirit can feel the lowest of low today because it's not in the place where it wants to be. And while we do have a Mars today that trines over to Saturn, which should be a positive thing as far as, like, it's like a reinvigoration of our spiritual mission in many ways. But since that it's a 0-0, we have to, like I said, it's a wild card. So it's like, yeah, you have the choice, right? Do you have the strength to make it through this time? Do you have the reserve to be that spiritual warrior and make it through difficult times? Or what, times that it may get difficult. Are you preparing for things, Are you ready in case shit does hit the fan, right? Are you willing to do what it takes, That's what Saturn's going to be asking Mars, right? So it's almost like Saturn has like an interview with Mars after going through Libra. You got to remember, Saturn exalts itself in Libra, right? So it's like Mars was trying to do what Saturn was doing, what Saturn was going to do in Libra, what Saturn would do in Libra, but Mars had to do it. So it's like Pluto was a little harsh with Mars. And harsh in the way where it's like, well, I mean, I'm the executioner, right? So you couldn't finish the job, so I gotta finish it for you, right? So very much so, just almost nonchalant, a little dismissive. Now he deals with Saturn. Saturn, of course, yeah, while this is a trine, it's a harmonious aspect. Saturn's not exactly going to be easy on Mars during this, but Saturn is going to give Mars a new mission as well. Hopefully it's spiritual in nature when it comes to your life, right? But there's still going to be this sort of overview. Instead of like, okay, yeah, you didn't do that thing right in Libra, you didn't do that thing right in Libra. This is what I would have done. This is what I would have done. So that's pretty much that's going on today, right? Like I said, when we have that kind of information too, and then we have the information, of course, with the moon trining over to Pluto, where it's like, okay, yeah, we can climb this mountain, we can overcome these challenges, but shit, in many ways, it's gonna be sort of like a, you know, not that your feelings aren't valid, but it's kind of like a fuck your feelings kind of thing. When moon in Virgo, it's like you have to realize you have to become like that hermit. You have to, be self sufficient. You know what I mean? It's like, can you be self sufficient? You know what I'm saying? And so, as a result of this, Sun here at 19 degrees of Libra, 2 degrees away from where the new moon solar eclipse is going to be, getting close to the south node, opposing the spot that it loves the most, where it's exalted. This can definitely be that moment where we can either get jealous of other people. Maybe we look at other people and see where they are. And maybe we feel like they're shining in their light, they're super bright and stuff. And we may be jealous of them. And we may start to bargain with ourselves or bargain with other people. This could be a moment where our spirit could feel a little bit lower just because, maybe we feel like we are not where we want to be right now. It's like, well, what are you going to do about it? That's the thing about it. It's like, yeah, this is not a time to be throwing pity parties, right? Then this is the day where we can really feel like life is unfair. We can really start to feel that life is unfair. And we can potentially bitch and moan and complain about it. Life is unfair. And it's a game of musical chairs in many ways. And you're not always going to have a chair to sit in. Well, you have to ask yourself, first of all, do you want to play that particular game of musical chairs with those particular groups of people? Why do you really want to be associated with those groups of people? Especially if you keep not getting a chair. You can run faster, I suppose, to try and get your chair. But is that necessary? This is about, kind of looking at our lives, scanning our lives, and just see where our relationships are, where our connections are, and see if these are the people that we really want to be associated with. Do they maintain vibrational integrity? That's the other part too. You know what I'm saying? So it's not that you want to be mean or cause strife with these individuals, although there's going to be a propensity to want to do so with, Eris here, the goddess of war and strife, right? So there may be an urge to almost want to cause strife out of nowhere. So don't go causing strife in places where it doesn't exist just because you feel like you may not be a vibrational match to this person or this group of people or whatever like that. That mismatch in vibration could be temporary. That's the other part about it. This is a time where we can take temporary mismatches and vibrations as, oh my gosh, this whole thing is fucked up. Oh my gosh, blow up the entire thing, blow up the entire relationship. And the relationship, like I said, doesn't have to be romantic. It can be with friends, it can be with colleagues, it can be with siblings, it can be with parents, right? This is a time where if we get too caught up and we're not able to observe, it's like I said, let me read this again. Do you have the inner strength to respond intelligently yet gently to the diversity of opinions in the world? No matter what way you slice it, people are going to have different opinions than you. Are you going to attack them for their opinions? Can you have a calm and rational conversation about those opinions? If you really feel, driven and called to talk about these things, are you trying to convert these people? What good is it to convert them? Does it actually provide any value to convert these people? I think the beauty of this world is the diversity of opinions. We just got to get to the point where we're not fucking throwing shit at each other because of our opinions. The world is big enough, large enough, to hold the diversity of opinions that it has. I believe, and maybe this is just me being a little naive, I believe that we can hold the diversity of opinions without fighting each other the way that we do. But usually it's usually several people that are like in power that try and they use their influence and their charisma to drive large swaths of people into doing their own bidding, causing more strife when the vast majority of people just want to live in peace. Just want to live in peace and live their lives, right? So don't get swept up in the current today. Don't get trapped in jealousy today, right? Don't get trapped in if there's like a mismatch in vibration, especially guys, especially if there wasn't those major mismatches in vibration before, and maybe it just comes up today or it just comes up during this time, and then you look back at the whole of that relationship, it's like, oh man, I wonder if it was always this mismatched. No, sometimes y'all just don't see eye to eye. No need to freaking throw the baby out with the bathwater. All right. We have some harmonious aspects today. We have some tough ones with the moon opposing over to Neptune, right? But we have some harmonious aspects. Moon trining Pluto, Mars trining Saturn. But if you notice, there are three malefics that are involved with these harmonious aspects: Mars, Pluto, and Saturn, right? As far as the benefics go, Jupiter is offline in Taurus at 13 degrees. It does make a quincunx over to Mercury today. So that there's that awkward stare from across the room. So you got that energy. And then, of course, you have Venus at fall in Virgo. So if you're looking for like the really positive, uplifting, fluffy kind of energy, and looking for that to save you, looking for that to make you feel better, that's not what's going to make you feel better. What's going to make you feel better is putting in the hard work and the effort and then having the victory. This is not victories that come easily. They just land in your lap. This is stuff that you have to work hard for, strive for, sweat for, maybe even shed a little bit of blood for. Yeah. Let's get into the cards. Let's see what we got. I'll do one more good shuffle. I'm trying to do like a good shuffle because, like I said, we've got some of the same cards the last couple of days. So I want to see what we get today. All right. Yeah, we have the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. The Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Now, out of the Knights, the Knight of Pentacles is generally the least impulsive of the four. When you have a Knight of Pentacles in reverse, it's actually more impulsive because he doesn't really necessarily feel his value. He's like striving for something that he feels like he doesn't have. He's going for the Holy Grail, if you will. So the Knight of Pentacles in reverse is going to be us wanting to kind of strive towards something that we don't have, and doing so probably in an impulsive manner. Let's see what else we have. Well, we have the Knight of Swords here as well. This is why you want to be cool, calm, and collected and not just be rash and jumping to things. We have to have the intelligence to respond to differing opinions in a calm and collected way, right? So this Knight of Swords, this King of Swords, and this Knight of Pentacles, yeah, there's certainly this element here where we probably are feeling some sort of lack when it comes to, the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. We're wanting something, we're wanting to take some sort of action, but maybe we don't feel that we are worthy, even. This King of Swords is reminding us to, come at this from a little bit more of a rational place. Don't get like wrapped up emotionally about these sort of things, take stock of the information that you do have. You know what I'm saying? We also have, we have the Seven of Cups here. So it's like, I think what it comes down to with the Knight of Pentacles in reverse is the fact that there are many options. This is like that Pisces energy. This is the Mars trining over to Saturn. So it's like, yeah, there are many things that can be born of this holy grail, if you will. There's many things that can be born of this. And we have to ask ourselves, oh shit, what do I want? The Knight of Pentacles in reverse is an indecisive knight, not knowing what they want to purchase, right? Not knowing what they want to go for. So that's why we have this King of Swords here too, where it's like, well, think rationally about this. This is a time where we really want to kind of go through the processes and not try and make some sort of impulsive decision. I'm going to cut the deck though, because I'm interested to see what we have. Oh, we have the Page of Cups. The drama, the plot thickens with that Page of Cups. The Page of Cups in reverse. Do not get too caught up in the Page of Cups, because why? These Page of Cups are going to be the people that they're going to get totally wrapped up in the current of this moon opposing Neptune. They're going to get totally wrapped up, and they're going to try to convince you that their opinion is the right opinion, right? To pick their side, right? So rise above that, because this Page of Cups in reverse is someone who is emotionally unintelligent, right? They're not able to think for themselves, right? Their emotions are driven by what other people say and what other people think, and they are fooled into trying to adopt ideologies that may or may not align with their heart, but they don't know that. It's unconscious, right? So be wary of that. These Page of Cups, these are actually going to be like agents of the Matrix today, right? You're the Knight of Pentacles trying to figure out which way to go, trying to figure out what you want to actually purchase in this universe. The King of Swords is reminding you to have a calm, cool, collected head about all this, especially that he's upright, so it's not making any super rash decisions. But then you have these Page of Cups. They're coming in. They're like little agents of the Matrix. They're like little ants. They're going to bite you. They're going to bring some inflammation, if you will, even though it's water, I'm saying. But they're going to cause some blistering and stuff like that, too, if you let them. If you let them. So you see how this is. You have the king, you have the knight, and you have a page, right? So the page has the least amount of power of all of these. But we can get very caught up, potentially, in listening to the page, because they're going to make an argument that's going to pull and tug on your emotions, right? You know what I'm saying? We have to be able to I'm going to read it one more time. It keeps going back to this. Do you have the inner strength to respond intelligently yet gently to the diversity of opinions in the world? I really honestly don't need to say anything else, because I think it's pretty clear as far as that energy goes. So that is going to do it for your astrology forecast for this Thursday, October 12th. I hope that you all enjoyed this. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. I would definitely appreciate it. If you'd like to have a personal reading with me, beloved, you can follow the link in the description below to my website, jphoenix.com. And as always, y'all take care, stay blessed, have a wonderful day, rise above, remain in vibrational integrity. You got this. I believe in you. See y'all in the next video. Peace out.